Hello, and you're watching the Big Magazine from Big News. We're here with you every weekend to take a look at what's going on around your area of Birmingham, Solihull, the Black Country and beyond. Yes, hello again and welcome to the Big Magazine. I'm filling in for Lee this weekend as he's gone off on his jollies for a week. How about that, eh? So coming up, all the usual features. We'll take our regular look at what's up on the community notice board. Des and Gary will tell us what to get up to this weekend. Johnny Doom will give us his pick of the gigs, and we'll take a look at some of the interesting things going on in our area. Then, after all that, I'll have a look at what you've been saying to Big Centre this week, and if you want to become part of that, stay tuned. So that's all coming up in the Big Magazine. But first it's time to head over to meet Johnny Doom from the AMP studio as he gives us his pick of the upcoming gigs.
Right, it is me, Johnny Doom, from your weekly Big Centre rock show AMP. Which you can see at 10 o'clock on Wednesdays, Friday 11:30 and 10 o'clock on Saturday. Anyway, here's my pick of the gigs. If you want to go and see a young upcoming band, Dead, they're going to be playing at the Asylum, that's 24th of August. Metal legends Queensryche, they're going to be 26th of August, which is at the Robin in the Wolverhampton, Bilston, wherever. And finally, Theory of a Dead Man, they're playing September the 4th at the O2 Academy. In fact, here they are right now. This is Angel, a big tune.
I'm in love with an angel, heaven forbid. Made me a believer with the touch of her skin. I go to hell and back with you, stay lost in what we found. Worlds apart, we were the same until we hit the ground. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm weak, maybe I'm blinded by what I see. You wanted a soldier, but it wasn't me, 'cause I can never set you free. So fly on your own, it's time I let you go. I'm in love with an angel who's afraid of the light. Her halo is broken, but there's fight in her eyes. Walls are built to keep us safe until they're crashing down. Worlds apart, we were the same until you hit the ground. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm weak, maybe I'm blinded by what I see. You wanted a soldier, but it wasn't me, 'cause I can never set you free. So fly on your own, it's time I let you go. Walls are built to keep us safe until they're crashing down. Worlds apart, we were the same until you hit the ground. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm weak, maybe I'm blinded by what I see. You wanted a soldier, but it wasn't me, 'cause I can never set you free. So fly
And thanks to Johnny Doom there. As he said, he'll be back with Amped on Wednesday nights at 10. Now it's time for Des and Gary with a look at what's on for you this weekend.
So welcome to the weekend. Here we are, it's Saturday, and in Tamworth, Family Fest 2016 is happening over 2 days in Buzzards Valley, with Buzz Stock starting today, featuring local singer-songwriter Andy Bennett, who used to work with Ocean Colour Scene, and lots of local bands. Plus, on Sunday, there's fun for all with the Bouncy Castle, face painting, zorbing balls,
Yes.
and most importantly, wine and beer tasting.
Zorbing balls are those things you get in and roll down the hill.
Oh, is that what they are?
Yeah,
But don't do that while you buy wine and beer tasting, because it goes everywhere.
It gets very messy. Actually, Buzzards Valley, have you been there?
No.
Fantastic. There's a big grapevines, and there's a winery. They make their own wine there. Yeah, it's really good. Nice place. And we're definitely into festival time with the Boar's Head Fringe Festival in Kidderminster happening over 2 days, starting at lunchtime today. There's over 20 local acts on both days, as well as food stalls, circus skills and market stalls. And running alongside the Fringe, Kidderminster Paint Jam is a superb mixture of artistic talents, making the streets of Kidderminster a more interesting place to wander around. And it's free.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, good. Kidderminster, good place to go.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money in the centre there. It's close to, in the centre, but you're so close to countryside.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
really
well,
nice.
Bewdley's only just
Bewdley
down
down the road, Safari Park down the
Safari
road.
Park, yeah.
Good place to go.
Yeah.
The Flyover Festival, held under a flyover in Hockley, is returning after a 4-year break. Is that what they call it? Sleeping rough, isn't it, under the flyover? Organiser, award-winning Soweto Kinch felt it was particularly important this year after the closure of the Drum Arts Centre and the cancellation of the Handsworth Carnival and Simmerdown Festival in 2016. Headlining the show will be jazz and reggae guitarist Ernest Raglin, as well as Basil Gabidon, and a huge supporting list of local artists. Now, spoken word, graffiti art, food stalls and activities for all ages feature in the show, celebrating the traditions of black culture in the city whilst giving local people a live show they may never get the chance to experience again.
Yes, it is very good, that. It's got a big reputation. And any fit and healthy runners, you should head over to the NEC for the 5K colour run, which seems to involve being pelted by various coloured powders while you're running. It's all in the name of charity, and this year it's the NSPCC.
It's a good event. Loads of people
Yeah.
take part in that around, and you see them walking back into town afterwards.
Completely hammered.
Absolutely covered in powder paint. Brilliant. Now, at the Prince of Wales in Moseley, good little boozer, they're having a vintage fair in the garden along with local artist Claire Griffiths. What's Bells Petite?
I think
What's
that's the name of her company.
of the
whatever.
company.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I just wonder why it's in brackets. Something
Yeah.
I'm reading.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there'll be an array of vintage clothing and accessories through the decades, so get along there.
Yeah.
That's a good gig.
And gigs tonight, Terry and Jerry's Garden Party is on at the Blue Piano. Some good friends of mine, Soul Junction, are playing the Robin 2. The Alternative Dubstep Orchestra are at the Hare and Hounds, and Amped favourites Templeton Peck play the O2 Academy. And here's Wake Me Up.
Oh, before you go.
Can you please wake me up when this is over? Before the sky is burning. Can you please wake me up when this is over? Before the sky is burned out. Face the hunger to feel alive. where we belong. And faded, this future is closing. Your hope is draining faster. This future is closing. Please wake me up when this is over, before the skies burn. Can you please wake me up when this is over, before the skies burn? Can you please wake me up when this is over, before the skies burn out?
Starting at midday in Perry Park, the Subway Helping Hearts Family 5K is bouncing back for 2016 with lots of free and fun entertainment. It's the perfect day out for the whole family to enjoy, and you can either take part in the 5K fun run or at 4.5 mark, enter the Field of Fresh, tackling a giant inflatable obstacle course before racing to the finish line.
Everybody's going to do that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want to go and jump over those.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at that point, absolutely. So. Now, if you're into vintage transport, then a trip down the M40 to the British Transport Museum in Gaydon finds the Buses Festival, celebrating one of the Britain's most favourite modes of transport, returning for a third year and featuring a remarkable display of up to 100 restored vintage and modern buses and coaches. Now, there'll also be free heritage bus rides around local routes and the museum's internal road network, and trade stands will be there selling models, collectibles, photographs and lots of other bus-related material, including books and some old chewing gum they found stuck under a few seats.
Tickets.
Yeah. There's a drill over there. What's it?
I don't know.
Oh, they've been looking at me.
And gigs tonight. The Jazz Club 90 always send us their emails through, so if you want anything mentioning, you know where to get in touch with us. They're in Albrighton at the Sports and Social Club. They've got the New Orleans style band Frog Island Jazz Band making an all too rare visit from the southeast. There's an open mic at the Fez in the Pheasant in Wensfield. And at the Hare and Hounds, ex-Hawkwinds Nick Turner's Inner City Unit promises an evening of funky psychedelia and acid rock at its finest. The blurb says, this is your last chance for a genuine psychedelic experience from a band that will never be on Top of the Pops. So with that, we'll say goodbye, and here's Fallen Angel.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Just am, I can't explain. I feel my mind floating, caught up in the atmosphere. Sometimes I stop to wonder, will they find me way up here? Am I some fallen angel? Floating here, I may never know.
Right, we're going to take a quick break now, and when we come back, we're going to be having a look at the events coming across the area in the community notice board. So I'll see you in a few minutes. welcome back to the Big Magazine. Now it's time for your community news from across the region.
We've got a new one today. Lee's up
Younger
on
model.
holiday. Yeah, well, you know, maybe you'll be eligible for the thing that Lee's always too old for. Sorry, Lee.
What's that?
There's a thing that comes up every week that's like if you're between 16 and something that you can go and do the gardening, and Lee wants to garden, but unfortunately he's not between the age.
It's funny you mentioned that. There is a thing about gardening today.
Oh, is that? Maybe that's this. Okay, so then, let's have a look at what is happening in our area as we turn our attention to the community notice board.
As ever, if you have some news that you'd like to mention, then get in touch, but give us plenty of notice.
And if you do want to get in touch, then as always, we'll tell you how you can in a few minutes' time.
Right, first things first, the world's most famous steam train is set to fly into Tyseley in Birmingham as part of Birmingham's Heritage Week. But can you guess which train it is?
No. Hogwarts?
No.
Don't know then. Yes, the Flying Scotsman.
It's the Flying Scotsman.
Yes, the Flying Scotsman will be arriving at Tyseley Locomotive Works as part of Heritage Week, as the city celebrates its history, achievements and culture next month, and will be on display alongside the works' resident locomotives from the 16th till the 18th of September.
I thought fly was a good enough clue there.
I don't know anything about trains, so...
No, not me really either. The legendary steam train's visit is just one of over 170 events taking place during Birmingham's Heritage Week, which takes place between the 8th and the 18th of September. Many of these events are free for the public, and visitors will be able to explore venues which are rarely open to the public, enjoy interactive storytelling, take part in workshops and discover hidden gems around the city on guided tours.
So for further information about Birmingham Heritage Week, including a full list of events around the city, all the information you need is available at...
Is this where the hand thing comes in?
No, you
No.
can just say.
BirminghamHeritageWeek.co.uk, and that's all one word.
Because it's a website. Right, let's see what's going up next then. Now, there's some oh no! There's some Pokemon related event. I'm sorry, I'm not a technological person, so...
I don't like Pokemon.
Well, let's move on, shall we? There are some Pokemon related events that are coming up called Pokemon Go for Good, run by the Ampersand projects.
Makes it sound like they're getting rid of all the Pokemon. Now, if you're not familiar with Pokemon Go, it's a free-to-play, location-based augmented reality game which has quickly become a global phenomenon as it's been downloaded by over 100 million people worldwide, also being credited with promoting physical activity in youngsters.
As well as people just walking out into the road without looking. No, I shouldn't.
Sometimes you've just got to catch that Pokemon.
Well, yes, so the event aims to gather cultural and community organisations together to discuss the benefit of games and how they could use digital technology to motivate people to collaborate and make a change locally and globally. See, I understand that.
Yeah.
I do get that. Pokemon Go's not all bad.
It's sort of the best intentions, really.
Yes.
Yeah. The Ampersand Project is a Birmingham-based organisation, and they have an interest in how games can be used to explore and solve some of the world's social problems.
This is happening at the East Side Projects on Thursday the 25th of August from 6 until 8 p.m. 25th. I think I just said 25th of August.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds pretty
25th.
interesting. Solve the world's problems with Pokemon. Why
On the
not?
25th. Now, do you live in Tetnall? I don't.
I don't live in Tetnall.
But if you do,
I couldn't find it on a map. So if you do live in Tetnall, though, and you're interested in gardening, are you interested in gardening?
no.
No.
Yes.
Well,
For the purposes of this, yes, I am. What's going on in Tetnall? In the
well-
gardening world of Tetnall?
in the gardening world of Tetnall, the Tetnall and District Horticultural Society is changing, sort of.
They are now called the Tetnall Gardening Club and hope their new name will give them a friendlier appearance. I already want to go. Well done, Tetnall Gardening Club.
Yeah, I think that's
Tetnall
that's sold it to me.
Gardening Club.
So, if you have just started growing vegetables and flowers on a local allotment or even in your back garden and need some advice, then the Tetnall Gardening Club may be for you.
It's £4 to become a member, and that gives you access to the trading hut for low-cost gardening supplies. And you can also attend monthly meetings at the Institute in Tetnall Wood, where there are interesting gardening-themed talks.
Ooh.
Bill and Ben and the Flower Pot Men.
The trading hut. It's a bit. So if this has got your green fingers tingling,
Mine aren't green, but you know.
we can work on that in post. So if that's got your green fingers tingling, then you can find out more information on their website, which is.
It is www.tdhs.btik.com.
Sounds quite interesting. Now, would you like to know a bit more about the local history of Walsall Wood?
Why not?
Well, find out why it's called Walsall Wood. That might be a good start. Well, there's a series of talks for local history buffs that's being organised for Broughton Hills and the wider community.
The first of these talks is due to take place on Wednesday the 7th of September at 10:30 in the Well Centre on Beacon Way, Walsall Wood. It's going to be fun, funny and informal. Fun and funny. Double whammy. And informal.
So you don't have to wear a suit.
So if you're a history buff, get yourself down there.
Sounds good. I don't have to wear this tweed jacket.
It's a great tweed jacket.
What?
Let's see what's happening in Dudley Zoo.
Okay. Dudley Zoo is offering a huge thank you to everyone who visited them on the 10th of August to take part in their event and to raise awareness for the endangered Asiatic lion. The stars of the day were the zoo's trio of lions, Jetpa, Kira and Asha. I think that's how you pronounce them.
Yeah.
As visitors were able to learn more about the species' plight.
Visitors were also able to watch the lions receive enrichment barrels as Dudley Zoological Gardens presenter Heather John explained all about the issues facing the lions in the wild during a one-off special talk. And funds for lion conservation projects were raised by entering an adoption raffle with the lucky winner from Rowley Regis, that's where I'm from, who adopted lioness Kira.
Is there any way
It
you
could be
can
me
keep
and I
her?
don't even know. It's not me, I didn't win.
No.
Congratulations to the person from my town that did though.
It's Rowley a town?
Is that a tweed jacket?
Feels like one. Yeah, where do you even keep a lion in Rowley Regis?
No, she adopted it, so it won't stay with that. It'll stay in Dudley Zoo. But you
I
know,
know.
it's just
But,
hers.
Yeah, well,
Go Rowley.
good luck.
Now,
Right, next up, the Motorcycles Made and Remembered exhibition features a selection of motorcycles and scooters made in Wolverhampton and Bilston between the 1920s and early 1970s.
bikes on display include a Wearwell Wolf, Sunbeam and the iconic Norton Commando.
Those names mean nothing to me, but I'll have to ask my,
Well, I
I'll
hope
have to ask my dad
Commando
about
doesn't mean
those.
what I think it means.
Wouldn't have thought so on a motorbike.
Also on show, no pun intended, are large numbers of archive photographs alongside a replica TT trophy, fabulous two-stroke engines and information about some of the different factories.
And that exhibition runs until the 17th of September.
So, that's what's up on this week's community notice board.
Now, are you sitting there thinking, I know something that they can mention? Well then, get in touch, but do make sure that you let us know in plenty of time.
So how do you get in touch? Well, there are many ways, but your best is to email us via the postbag. That's postbag@bigcentre.tv or send a message on social media @BigCentre.tv.
Or you can put a letter in the post to the community notice board.
This is where we do the click. Let's go
Ah,
back. Or
Okay. Or
you can put a letter in the post. Or you can put a letter in the post too. There we go.
Okay. The community notice board, Big Centre, 14A, Lower Hall Lane, Walsall, WS1 1RL.
And we'll have more for you at the same time next week.
But with Lee.
But with Lee, not Tweed.
Time for a break now, and when we come back, Bob Hall will have all of your local news stories from across the week, and something that may interest a few of you out there, how to get involved with Big Centre. So stay tuned. I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to The Big Magazine with me, Tom Wilkinson. Time now for Mr. Bob Hall to bring you all of your local news stories from across the region. Over to you, Bob.
OK, thank you, Tom. Now, residents, both young and old, crowded around the cenotaph at St Peter's Square in Wolverhampton earlier as a mark of respect on the 71st anniversary of VJ Day. It's victory over Japan Day, as it's known. It effectively ended the Second World War when Japanese army surrendered to Allied forces. Roshni Patel was at the service.
Heads bowed and not a murmur to be heard. This is the 2 minutes of silence that allowed family and friends to focus on the 60 million people who lost their lives fighting in the Second World War. Veterans, civic dignitaries and members of the public gathered in their numbers to pay their respects on the 71st anniversary of victory over Japan Day.
It takes place because it is so important that we show the people of Wolverhampton that I, as an old soldier, appreciate what their parents, their grandparents, their fathers did out in the Far East. It is sometimes called the Forgotten Army, the Forgotten War. Well, I haven't forgotten it. It doesn't matter how long ago it was. That is, the dates come and go. So whether it was 71 years or 75 years ago, that's not important to me. I've got to get the message to them that it is important, no matter when it happened.
The service began with a parade of standards and veterans, followed by prayers. George was 18 when he was called up to the army. He served in Burma for 2 years and was 22 by the time the war had ended.
Well, funny enough, being of a young age, I wasn't actually what you call really scared of it, but as we progressed into the war itself, you counted each day as you came to it. You know, you more or less said to yourself, well, that's another day I've got through. You became almost pessimistic towards the end that you actually came through it without a scratch. Well, experiences is crossing many of the rivers, the Irrawaddy, being in slit trenches almost 24 hours a day, in jungle warfare as well. So it was, and the heat, 40 degrees. Water was short, so we had to make do with a bottle of water a day, and we seemed to get through. We got through.
With over 7 decades passed since the end of the Second World War, the number of veterans like George who are still with us today diminishes. But it's services like this that can retain their memories and ensure they live on for many more years to come.
If I don't do this, then the future generations won't understand what it was all about. So I'm in the communication business, really. I'm trying to teach younger people to understand that they perhaps wouldn't be standing here today if their forebearers in the Far East hadn't done, suffered and did what they did.
A heartfelt service, and to end, all eyes, both young and old, focused on this historic quote. Roshni Patel for Big News in Wolverhampton.
The The energy giant E.ON have teamed up with the Ideas Foundation and 25 pupils from across the West Midlands to try and encourage young minds to see what the energy sector could offer them. With subjects like maths and science seeming quite dull to some youngsters, they've put on a week-long media camp for students to create an engaging media campaign for an energy-saving idea that could sit possibly in the home of the future. Their idea should make life easier as well as use energy in an intelligent and environmentally friendly way. Roshni Patel has been talking to the company's press officer.
This week is one of our community educational activities, and the pupils that we've got here with us this week are charged with putting together a creative campaign for the media. Now that could be on television, in print or online, and it's really looking at encouraging younger students to really consider whether or not what we call a STEM subject, which is science, technology, engineering and maths, whether one of those subjects might be right for them to study at GCSE level or even beyond.
How did the project come about?
What we look to do with these community activities is really ignite a spark of enthusiasm amongst young people for these sorts of subjects, for science and maths, these sorts of areas. And often these subjects are seen as quite stuffy, quite boring, and we just want to make them aware of the opportunities and the potential careers that are open to people who have qualifications and expertise in these sorts of subjects. And one of the things we're asking them to do during this week, in terms of demonstrating the importance of energy, is looking at the house of the future and coming up with an innovative idea for what might be in the house of the future. And we just find that that's a really good way for them to really consider the range of activities that fall within science and engineering and those kind of subjects.
And I mean, over the week, what goes on from here?
So they're working with people who have expertise in the creative industry. So these are people who will come up with media campaigns week in, week out. What they'll now be looking at is what kind of media they want to use for their campaign, whether that be press or broadcast or something that you might see online, and then really looking at what aspects of what we call the STEM subjects, so that's science, technology, engineering and maths, what aspect of those they want to particularly interest young people in, and then coming up with this idea for an innovative idea for something energy related that you might find that you might see in the house of the future. They're at the think tank all this week, and then on Friday afternoon they will come to E.ON's head office in Coventry and they will present to a panel of industry experts there. That's both energy experts from E.ON but also creative industry experts, and they will present their ideas for their campaign back to them and they will be judged on it.
Now, it's one of our best known and best loved creatures, the humble bumblebee. A declining population, it seems. From Digbeth in Birmingham, here's Norman Bartlam.
This was once an area of derelict land of Friends of the Earth in Digbeth, and it was turned into a community garden around 10 years ago. Now they are becoming even more eco-friendly by introducing beehives.
We decided to have a beehive because of the declining population of bees, and in particular honeybees. And Digbeth Community Garden offers the perfect space to host a beehive. So we've got lots of different flowers. We've got buddleia, we've planted some bee-friendly flowers, but also to raise awareness and promote more people to help save the bees.
The beekeeper is Darren, and he quite clearly gets a buzz out of his work. And he quite clearly is the bee's knees around here.
Now, Darren's with me now. I'm really a bit bemused, you could say, of this, because you'll obviously be sotted with these bees. And is that right? I find it hard to believe this, but you did have a beehive for Christmas?
Yeah, I was. It was about 3 years ago. I kept banging on about the bees and keeping them and making my own honey, and my partner, Natasha, she got fed up with it and decided that she should do something about it, or I should do something about it, so she bought me a beehive for Christmas.
What did your mate say when you went down the pub and said, I'd buy the beehive for my Christmas present?
I didn't tell anyone for a little while because it's a bit strange, but I just told them I got the usual stuff like socks and pants, and yeah. Kind of fell in love with what I was doing, helping the environment, keeping the bees alive, populating local crops and flowers, etc. And because I eat honey every day, I thought I should really know a little bit more about it.
So what do you do then for your business? How do you make money out of honey?
So the concept behind it is I hire or rent bees to commercial properties or private gardens for anyone that's interested in keeping bees but has no beekeeping experience is kind of where I fill the gap. So no beekeeping experience is necessary. Well, I'll come in and do the full hive management throughout the year.
This is a bemused Norman Bartlam on behalf of Big News in Birmingham.
Well, after 9 years of negotiating and a lot of hard work, the St John's Preservation Society have finally got the keys to the once abandoned church on Cates Hill at the top of Dudley Town Centre.
After 9 years of hard work and negotiations, the St John's Preservation Society have officially received the keys to the once abandoned St John's Church, located on Cates Hill. First opened on the 27th of July 1840 and abandoned since 2002 after being declared unsafe and beyond repair, the team, with the help of the local community, are continuing to restore it to its former glory.
I was actually working in the area at the time. This is going back to 2007. And a lad who was here earlier called Dwayne Morgan, he was 10 at the time, started a petition to save St John's, which had been closed down in 2002. I'd never been in the church, didn't know anything about it, but there was a lot of local feeling, and for some reason they all started coming to me as some sort of official role, which I didn't have. But when it came to forming a group, there wasn't really anybody who wanted to take a lead on it, so I ended up doing it. I then found out my own personal extensive family connections to the church, so it did obviously become quite a bit more personal after that. But it's a beautiful structure, you know, and it needed to be saved, and thank goodness now it is.
I think it's been quite a long-running project. It's been going on for 9 years now, and it's quite a historic moment really, because the preservation group have been able to take things forward for the benefit of the community and actually preserve the church, you know, put some money into it and spend time restoring it for the benefit of everybody in a way which up until now has not been possible.
It's brought a wider community together, this project has, because a lot of people who lived on Cates Hill and came to this church and got married here and had the children christened here, they've moved off Cates Hill. They're in Russell's Hall, Kings Winford, some of them are abroad. We've had people come today from Devon. Well, it's a great feeling. It's a feeling of great relief because, you know, the campaign's gone on for years, and the amazing thing is how people have stuck with it. You know, that they did also believe that it was going to happen. People still care about it, you know, and that's a credit to this building and its history, really. And now as a team, we try and get a bigger team and really take it forward.
I'm Dale Gardner for Big News.
Now, of course, it's been a busy day this week for many students across the UK. For most by now, the next few years of their lives have been decided. In Albrighton near Wolverhampton, it's the same story. Children from 2 local families have got their sights set on going to university, but funding for their courses, well, maybe a tipple or two can help. Let Lois Swinnerton explain.
A pie and a pint, a combination you don't normally associate with a train station, but if you fancy a tipple after your commute to Albrighton, then you won't be disappointed. The Thompson and Taylor families joined together to turn this Grade 2 listed building into a micro-pub as part of a £30,000 renovation, and on tap, well, it's all local.
We've got a couple of local brewers that do beer for us and source beer from other brewers as well, and the the cider guy is also local. So he brings that in, and then there's also the local butcher supplying the pork pies and Scotch eggs.
It's not your average setup. To fund the project, the families have used money saved for their children's university education, with the idea of profits going back into the university pot. But what do the children think of the idea?
Lucky.
Well, they have spent all of our university money, but oh well, hopefully it's a success.
Yeah, I think it'll go really well.
I hope so anyway. The community seems to be quite supportive, so we'll go from there.
And what are you guys planning to do at university? I'm doing dance.
I'm doing international hospitality management at Gloucester, which is probably quite fitting, like being in a pub.
It's good fun. Yeah. I like to talk to people, so quite sociable, so you get to talk to customers and
it's hard
get
work
to know
at the start
people.
though, obviously, you know, getting it all renovated, but now it's like, it's good.
It's really good, yeah.
Alongside the children learning the ropes, the pub has also created 6 extra jobs. And after attracting around 200 people on the opening night, it appears to have plenty of support from the locals.
We've had a lot of support from the local community, the Civic Society, the Parish Council, various other organisations within the village, and we've had a lot of great feedback from the residents themselves, so that's been really good, really important to us. The local community is a big part of of why we've done it here. It's a lovely village feel, lots of nice people, you know, a good range of ages. So yeah, it's been important to us to do that.
With 5 locally sourced ales, ciders and wines on tap, is there a favourite?
The Newbridge Brewery do a Solaris, which is a nice pale ale, and that probably is our best seller. It's the one we've always got on, so yeah.
Lois Swinnerton for Big News in Albrighton.
Now, they've been looking for Sandwell's strongest man, and I think they've found him. The muscly men lined up to show off their best at the weekend. Norman Bartlam was there too.
Sandwell's Strongest Man competition was held as part of Sandwell Leisure Trust's Fun in the Valley initiative. The series of tests were held over 2 days, culminating in the weightlifting.
Meters they are walking. They are lifting 170 and they are lifting 200 kg on these bars.
Keep it nice and tight.
That is Wayne's new personal best. That is amazing.
The heaviest weight was lifted by Adam Kirby, who lifted 210 kg. That's the equivalent of picking up 4 average weight adults. The overall winner of the competition, though, was Jacob Blake.
I'd done this last year, but training-wise, it took me 6 months to prep for this. No, well, I've been training since I was 16 years old, but I've been doing this this strongman stuff for the last 2 years.
Okay.
I competed here last year, come third, and obviously this year I've come and got the title, so I'm very happy about that. I consume about 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day. That's what I'd say. It's hard to train this strongman stuff because it's very hard on the body. But I'd say I train strongman twice a week. I train in a gym 4 times, so I'll probably train 6 days a week in total.
Yeah, he came third last year. He's first this year with 114 points. New personal best, 270. Jacob Blake!
Organisers are already looking for competitors for next year's event. This is Norman Bartlam for Big News at Sandwell Valley Park.
And that's it, Tom. It's back to you.
And thanks for that, Bob. Now, here's a chance for you to get involved, as I mentioned earlier on in the programme. West Midlands Now, here's a chance for you to get involved, as I mentioned earlier in the programme. West Midlands-based self-shooting editors required on an ad hoc basis, producing current affairs packages across the West Midlands region. You'll be required to liaise with and shoot a variety of subjects at short notice, and the requirements are a high-definition camera, tripod with audio kit, edit platform, any editing software that you can think of, the ability to send finished packages across the web, an ability to work independently, self-confidence when dealing with the public, that's an important one, a passion for documentary and factual-based content, a keen eye for a narrative. If you meet all of that above criteria and are interested in producing freelance material for our news programme, we'd like you to submit a sample package on a news item of your choosing. If it meets broadcast standards, or we think you demonstrate enough potential to do so in the future, then we will commission work on a package-by-package basis. So if you're interested, please email hello@bigcentre.tv detailing how you meet the criteria, and send us a link to download your sample package around 2 minutes long. The topic should be locally relevant, visually stimulating, with good quality interviews, voxes, general visuals, and a professional voiceover with a sign-off. And if you want to get in touch with us about anything else, then on social media we are @BigCentre.tv, and you can find us under that name on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Or you can email us postbag@bigcentre.tv. or you can follow our other Twitter feeds. For sport, it's @BigCenterSport, and for news, it's @BigCenterNews. And the postal address for anything at all is Big Centre, 14A Lower Hall Lane, Walsall, WS1 1RL. And that's pretty much your Big Magazine for this weekend. Remember, you can catch the Big Magazine from Big News on Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. And then we're back with more tomorrow, so stay tuned. I do hope you can join us then. So from the whole team here, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.